afternoon, everyone. So this is again one more amazing live from Bloom to all the people around who is seeing us in this afternoon, who is also seeing us early morning, who is at times seeing us in afternoon or maybe evening. So welcome and namaste by Bloom. This is the co-founder Dr. Neeta Mhatre, and we have a small thing about Bloom. As everyone is aware, Bloom is bloomed in the month of September by our dear and loving Payal Irani, who is our CEO. And it really bloomed in the time when everyone were so scared, where everyone were so anxious, where everyone were filled with stress. And this is where the entire germination of Bloom started, that is in the pandemic. So Bloom as such is a pandemic baby, but definitely a very, very active baby, an active baby for everyone whosoever feels that they need to fulfill their dreams, they need to fulfill their entire career. So Bloom is a platform which welcomes to create, co-create and collaborate. So as we create, as we co-create and we collaborate, we have amazing, beautiful petals of blooms who are the co-founders of Bloom, Mr. Abhijit Sansgiri, Mr. Deepak Kemani, and Mr. Premraj Kalpadan, and nonetheless, Dr. Neeta. And we all have been holded together by our amazing CEO, that is Ms. Payal Irani. So let me talk something about my co-host today. And I'm really, really very, very excited because the amount of credentials Mr. Prem Raj has is too much. And I'm sure that it is going to add a lot if anyone is wanting to seek personal coaching from Mr. Prem Raj. He is the right person for employment engagement. He is the right person for HR. And he is the right person in case anyone is looking out for any editing. He is a one stop for everyone. So here is something about Mr. Premraj. So Mr. KV Premraj is the fourth author. I'm sorry, I need to read it out because it's really big and I want to do this. It's a privilege for me. And futuristic speaker on leadership and management with expertise in the banking and the financial sectors. KV Premraj has spent 37 years in the banking with experience in public and the private sector. In branch, as a branch manager, he introduced an innovate process which saw less crowding in the branch, better staff productivity and customer delight. This process became a standard operating process in the bank and the banking sector. His legacy to build is Indian banking. Premraj is also been the CEO of a group of company of leading bank, a BPO, a head count in the excess of 21,000. Premraj is the co-author of 5 books, all of which has scaled the Amazon bestseller. So here you go, you know who is the right person and definitely ahead. Also, Premraj has been published in Economics Times, Business Standard, Financial Express, Indian Express, and other periodicals. His ideas and suggestions are fantastic. In these tough times, the distilled wisdom of his experience will make the far for compelling the stories and providing far insights to all the people. His speaking engagements and speaking assignments is definitely something which really is to be looking out, and that is the niche of Mr. Premraj. So Premraj sir is based in Mumbai, lives with the family and a pet, and of course his cat-in-law. So not taking more of your time and giving you the entire opportunity, Premraj sir, this is all yours and all to you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Neeta, for that flattering introduction. We have today a person who was bitten by the entrepreneurial bug at the tender age of 15 when she launched a handbag label. Though the business did not succeed as expected, there were learnings which were imbibed. She then teamed up with a mom in the luxury event planning and learned the ropes of organizing events. This is when she discovered a true passion, connecting people. She realized that people in the business world often hesitate to share contacts, numbers, and resources with each other due to the competitive fear mentality. Since then, her mission in life was to change this thought process. She comes from the abundance mindset that there is enough room for everyone to succeed, and we need to celebrate each other's successes. She truly believes in building a longer table and not a taller one. Shaan Khanna is a people's person with immense tact and overflowing confidence. Having been in the events industry for over a decade and being an entrepreneur since a young age, she has an unmatched perspective on the industry as a whole and strives to create a safe and supportive community through her initiative, Networking Now India. Having expanded the market from Mumbai to Singapore, Shaan has single-handedly made a name for herself. Shaan is also the co-founder of Spicy Sangria Events, a thoughtfully curated offline platform for known and upcoming designers. Shaan's biggest inspiration is her own mother, whose footsteps she is walking in. Actively running two businesses, organizing events, consulting as a networking coach, and launching a podcast, she has a lot on her plate. Let's know more about this dynamic personality from the woman herself. Welcome to the show, Shaan Khanna.
Thank you so much for having me. Excited to be chatting with you.
Yeah. Shaan, there's more to your life than the brief introduction I gave. Can I request you to trace your life's journey for the benefits of participants on the show and those watching live on Facebook?
Sure, absolutely. Thank you firstly for that introduction. I think that was basically me in a nutshell. I started as a handbag designer when I was very young. I was in school, and just the passion of wanting to create something of my own. But it was a great teaching, great learning. It was a business that I think taught me and brought me to where I am. Like they say, that everything gives you a signal to take you where you're meant to be. So I think today, what I know, what I've created is all from that first business. Then my mom's been into events, very successfully into events for years. I decided to join her and learned all the ropes, loved what she did. I would go to every show. Also, it was just excitement for me to be around, the hustle bustle and the glamorous show business. So I learned everything on that job as well. And that's when I realized that events is in my blood. It's something I can do in my sleep. So today I run an events company with my mom. We do trade shows, fashion exhibitions and events. And networking now was something born out of passion, but it turned into a full-fledged business, which I'm very thankful and grateful for. So I help connecting people in business, bringing people together to work together, because I truly believe that by referral and, by getting to know people better, you can even do better business. So that's what my platform stands for. We meet twice a month. We do lots of networking events where small businesses can represent themselves. They don't have to spend heavy money on marketing. They don't have to constantly have big budgets, but just through word of mouth and talking to other entrepreneurs, they can promote their business.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. That's quite impressive credentials you have.
Thank you.
What changes happened with the onset of the pandemic, and what changes are you noticing once we have the worst of the pandemic behind us?
So yes, thank God we have the worst of the pandemic behind us for many reasons, people falling sick, people losing people. I mean, it was just a time that, of course, businesses suffered a lot, but it was just not a happy time. For me, I have to say that I evolved a lot as a person, and I feel like my business evolved a lot in the pandemic, because I had time to kind of, like we say, otherwise our days are so rushed, and what do you say, like, the hustle bustle, you don't really pay deep attention to, don't go into the nitty gritties. So during the pandemic, I gave a lot of attention to the detail in my business, and I pivoted a lot, grew the business in a very different way. Now my business is mainly events, very tough in a pandemic because you can't meet up. We kind of got very used to Zoom, Google Meet, online meetings. And that's when I decided to start interviewing people, and running my interviews online, because I realized people were sitting at home but keen to learn. So I think that kind of carries on post COVID and the COVID scares. I see a big difference. People are dying to get out of the house. People are dying to leave and meet other people, face-to-face conversations, make connects, make contacts. I was just telling somebody this yesterday, ki my weekend has been so busy. Just after chatting with you all today, I have an event. Because I think clients and people are just saying, Karlo, till the time is there, until there's, no COVID scare, though now cases are rising again, but they are saying do it, because I think everyone is so scared of just hitting rock bottom again during that period, that that's a big fear. So I would say in my kind of business, where it's a lot of face to face, a lot of face to face interaction, a lot of touch and feel of products, it was definitely a very difficult time. And I see that post COVID, it's definitely getting better. People are dying to get out. People want to be in places where there's energy, people in the room, and have a lot of face-to-face chat. So for me, that is positive.
It's wonderful to hear how you pivoted during a crisis, and the energy that you bring to the table is something that people will be cherishing, people who are interacting with you. Now let's talk about small business. How can small businesses network online? Can you quote some of your success stories around this concept?
Sure. I think that's another thing that a lot of businesses had to learn in the pandemic. They were very used to doing, offline events. They were very used to showcasing at exhibitions. Small businesses take every opportunity they can get. But in the pandemic, a lot of them were forced in a good way to learn digital marketing, to learn getting onto social media. Many people didn't have the time to have their own social media brands, social media pages. Instagram, Facebook. So that kind of grew during the lockdown. But I would say, if I had to share how a small business can kind of can be impactful online, I would say, if you find social media hard, if you find it something that goes above your head, and this is for everyone, every age group, I can see people putting the thumbs up. It's for every age group. Somebody who's 18, 25, 65, 55 can find it difficult. So I would say, instead of breaking our head, like for example, me, I used to take a lot of tension. Arey, is pe sirf 5 lakh likes are rahe, or nobody's interacting with my post. But I realized, leave it to the experts. I always believe in outsourcing. So get yourself a social media agency. Spend a little money in the first 3 months on outsourcing your social media work. 2 is, you have to attend as many events as you can to talk about your business. So I would say network. I'm a huge advocate of creating your own network. So even if you join a networking group like mine, make sure that you take back your own little tribe from there. People who know your business, who will vouch for you, who will refer you. Today, there are many networking groups. There's BNI, there's a lot of mommy networking groups. There's my networking group, which is for small businesses. And today there are many sprouting up. So try to join, again, what makes sense for you. Don't join because your friend said it made sense for them. You have to go where you feel my business will do well. Imagine going to a steel networking group as being a baker. Nobody, yes, they might buy cupcakes once, but that's no real correlation. So I always say that's another thing. And I would say the last thing is, try to create your own customer base outside of your platform. So this is very important. We get very lost in numbers on social media, made 10,000, 30,000, but you're still depending on a third party app. What if that crashes? What if your followers go overnight? Have you created your own database and your own customer little community? Building a community around your small business has to be your number one goal. So get to know your customers, get to know the people, who buy your products. Yesterday, I was at an event, just to give you an example, lovely lady, 72, making delicious home food. Okay. And she said, I can make the food, but I will not market myself. So her son came on board. And today that food is reaching so many different households all over Bombay. The point is, ask for help. You might have somebody in your own family who can come and assist you. So I would say start, if you're a small business, start, but do your research to market online.
Thanks for that topical advice. On the same lines, I would like to share what I read yesterday in the Mint newspaper. There was an article which mentioned about there was a fabric that's called the Khanna fabric, which is used for blouse. And this is done by traditional weavers in a small village in Karnataka. When the pandemic started, these 25 odd people were at their wits' end. They did not know what to do till they hit upon an idea to go online. And what happened was something spectacular. They found their customers online and they realized that they could earn more profits because the middleman's profits went away from them. And now they are very, very happy that they have found a new way to do business. So that's the power of networking online.
Absolutely.
There are many family-owned businesses who are still seeped in the traditional way of business. How does one rouse them to be active on social media? What would your advice be to the startup community on usage of social media?
On usage of social media? So I would say, first, don't look at it as something scary. I think a lot of people get very nervous, how will I navigate the platform? So that's one. Secondly, if you're a small business owner, you don't have to be on every platform. So if you're a founder, LinkedIn works well. But if you're selling a product, you don't need to be posting that on LinkedIn. So maybe narrow down what, like LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, whatever, third-party platforms, websites. Which do you want to be on? Choose any three and then get rolling. I would say definitely research the platforms, try and make your own strategy. If you're not good at this and you're not good at design and graphics, but you're good with the ideas and you know your business, outsource your social media. Because always getting somebody else on board who knows and it's their area of expertise, that's a winner, right? So yes, people always tell me, but Shaan, people charge so much. The budgets have to be high. Yes, you can find somebody for every budget, but also remember to do your research as to how good they are. Sometimes you might scringe and spend less and not get somebody good for your business, right? So try to do your research. That's one thing. And second thing is, definitely don't try to take everything on your own head. So entrepreneurs have this bad habit ki I'll be the tax person, I'll be the the sweeper of my office, the creator of my brand, the spokesperson, the marketing person. Nahi chalne wala hai. So especially social media, because it's a topic which is tough. It's a topic not many people have understood. So try to outsource that, and learn. There are a lot of free YouTube videos. Udemy has classes, which I have done in the pandemic, learning Instagram, learning how the algorithm works. So even if you're outsourcing, right, you research it because you may get different ideas. And another thing I want to say is every business owner knows their business best. So please give ideas. Please give ideas, where you can, because only you know who are my end customers, what do they like. Suppose like a lady who sells pickles, she knows feedback she's getting, what is the reach, how far her pickles will go, which area she sells in. So keep in mind all this and feed that to your social media team.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that perspective. You mentioned about not trying to do everything on your own, but when it's a startup with a shoestring budget, when the poor guy has to open a shop in the morning, sweep, swap, do everything, and where does he find the budget for social media? And if he has to find the budget, how is it that he picks up one or two areas where he could get bang for the buck?
Okay, again, you mean so on social media, right? So like I said, yeah,
I'm talking about startups. I'm talking about startups.
Yeah. So I think the main thing is narrowing. Like I said, right? What happens is when you're starting a business, let's take an example, a lady selling pickles from home. I'm taking a simple example. She can start with her building people. She can start with the society fair. Then she can go on to outsourcing her social media, getting her Instagram page. Now, for somebody selling 10 different types of pickles, you don't need LinkedIn. You don't need, Facebook is very good because you have your own friends and you can keep sharing it. But Instagram is the best way because it's a very visual platform. So make use of getting good photos taken, with with food. If it looks delicious in your photos, trust me, people want it on your table, on their table. Like, even sometimes I'm scrolling on my Instagram, I'm like, I want to order this today. So especially people with food or clothes, make sure to do a good photo shoot. Always invest in a good photo shoot. And the good thing is you can work with people who you can create deals with. Okay, I'll do 5 food shoots with you in 6 months. Give me a good price. That's one thing. Second thing is, talk to people as to what they like to see on Instagram. Should I put my pickles? So a lady can share her recipes, how to use her pickles. What's the perfect lunch with the pickle? So the good thing is today, a lot of people, like especially Sunday, they spend time on the internet. You're going in a taxi from work to home, you're on social media. So make it very appealing, make it mouth-watering. But please only choose 1 or 2 platforms. Don't get overwhelmed and choose, I have to be on social media, so I'll go on every platform. It doesn't make sense. You'll be losing the essence of your brand, and you'll go actually crazy trying to post every day on every platform. It will not be worth it for you.
So let me ask for specific advice. We at Bloom are 1.5 years old. How do we make ourselves known to the world, and what are the tactics you would suggest we do?
That's a great question, actually. I have everyone smiling on the screen when I'm looking at, when I'm hearing your question. So I think you're firstly doing a fabulous job. What I've researched, I've looked up, I saw the other interviews. It's so amazing because I'm a big believer of learning from other people's stories. Just listening to your introduction, Mr. Premraj, it's like inspiring that you are interviewing me today. So I think that you have got the product right. Now, the second thing, like I said, is creating a community. So why should people come and listen to you? Where will people come and listen to you? And what's their ideal medium? Like, you're giving them a choice of coming online on Facebook, you're giving them a choice to hear it later on YouTube, and you're giving a Zoom ka choice. So which is actually the most popular? See that and concentrate on that. And I would say build a little community. Like, I do a lot of offline events. If maybe when it's non-COVID time, try to meet your community in person. I think Ms. Payal had told me that you are going to meet in person, right? And I think that is great because when people see you face to face, they want to keep coming back. And people love to hear other people's stories. So I think 2 things. One is try to build a brand around a community, regular people that can actually engage with your content. They can suggest speakers for you also of who they want to hear. And second thing is maybe once a month, if you can do an offline event. I know it's a tough task, but nothing like it, because that makes people, the touch and feel and face-to-face makes people come back.
Thanks for that advice. That's well taken. And we would like to let you know we will be celebrating our 100th episode on the 17th of July, which is going to be a live event.
Yes.
In Mumbai. So we have been here continuously for 100 episodes. We started in September 2020, and every Sunday at 12:30 we have ensured that consistency happens. And on the 17th of July is our 100th episode.
Wow, amazing.
Thank you. How do you keep yourself abreast of the latest developments in your field of work, which you can then introduce to your clients?
So I love reading. And of course, today with the internet and social media, it's made it all much easier. The algorithm, like if you like a certain newspaper or a website, you can like tag it on your page and continuously get the news from there. I love reading. So I wake up early, and the first thing is I start going through all the websites, which I enjoy. So that gives me all the news. Another thing is I love talking to people. So I love, like, at least in the week, I meet 3 or 4 people for coffee who I know we can share ideas. They can help me grow my business. I can help them grow theirs. Or, if I feel somebody is doing something unique in business, that's nice because I love to hear their stories. So from that only I learn about what's happening, how other people are thinking, how, what mediums are they using to go one step forward. So I think I would say it's a mix of talking to different people. And luckily in my business networking, I meet so many new people all the time. But also the internet. The internet helps me a lot, like us all.
Thanks for sharing that. My last question to you before I hand it over to Dr. Neeta. Who has inspired you, or who are the people that you are following in your field of work?
That's a tough one. I have many. I would say my biggest inspiration is my mom, in the true sense. And I don't mean to sound cliched, but I learned everything I know in the business because of her. I used to literally assist her, go as a little kid, watch her shows. Then she, brought me in. And one thing I always respect, if I gave her an opinion at a young age also, she never shot me down. She never said, "Ki I know better," or like, "I've done it, mine was right." She always said, "You tell me what you think. Let's chat." So I think that sense of encouragement helped me also hone my skills and get better. But if you had to ask me on a larger scale, I absolutely love Oprah Winfrey. I just watch every interview and every episode and everything of hers. And of course, Indra Nui, who's also, PepsiCo. I love her, read her book, hoping to meet her one day. So, yeah.
Thanks for sharing that. And now I request Dr. Neeta to take over.
Thank you.
Thank you, Premraj sir. And as the name says, Shaan, I would like to tell and I would like to bring in that whatever you are really doing is really Shaan say. Huh? So I would like to sum up, like when Premraj sir was definitely talking about how and in which way you have contributed in lives of people as well as in the society, because network is absolutely equal to your net worth. And I remember as Steve Jobs always used to tell a beautiful line, great things in business are never done by one person. They are done by a team of person. Definitely you require a team if you want to reach somewhere in your life. So taking this ahead, I want you to just tell me that what are those specific networks, because there is a huge networking types. There are around 8 types which I know. And of course maybe I know because the management students have been taught that, and that is what I regularly meet with. So there is something called as local area network, and there is now in the digital world there is something called as the VPN, that is the virtual private network. So can you give us some highlight about the two, which will help the Gen Z generation to go ahead, because the Gen Z is exclusively following the VPNs?
So that's a very good question. Actually, I'm going to simplify it because I don't get very technical, in my explanation. But let me tell you, like in terms of, I'm talking about networking in the sense of bringing people together. So in the olden times, it was very like, it was like, so and so, but please connect me, or like, can you put in a word, or can you? So people were not very receptive of meeting other people. Today, times have really changed. So like you said. Local networking, if I've got your question right, I want to explain it in a way, but local networking is very within where you are. So I always say there are two types, right? Your primary network and your secondary network. Your primary network will be friends, family, relatives, people you know on a one-on-one. Ki, hi, Shaan, can you help with this? Secondary network would be who Shaan knows. So I can say, Acha, now it's very easy to know who knows who with Instagram and Facebook. So, Acha, Shaan, can you put in a word for me? Can you connect me further to so-and-so? The very good change I have seen over time, and I'm noticing this, people are willing to connect. Back in the day, people were not willing to connect. People would say, now again, she wants to meet my contacts, or, she wants a contact from me. Why am I helping? What am I getting in it? Today, people are willing to give because they know that the result and the return is not immediate, but it will come. Second thing is for Gen Z, that's a very good question, because I think luckily for them, I think networking has started much earlier. Today, you have even groups for teenage networking, right? Teenagers to meet up, discuss business ideas. I attended an event at BSc, which was for entrepreneurship for teenagers, you know, where they built their whole business. So I would say creating your circle and creating your work circle and tribe early is very good. Whether you create it digitally. So today with the use of Facebook, thanks to, that's how I started. I'm part of like 50 groups where I can literally write something, and in San Francisco, somebody will write back. You know, you can create a WhatsApp group. I know ladies, you know, in the lockdown who've done phenomenal business selling just food through WhatsApp groups. So I think how I would suggest is choose what works for you. I always say this, don't do it because somebody else is doing. And if you have the option in life, start early.
I think that's really wonderfully said, that start early and everything requires action. If it is there in your mind and if the action is not taken, it just doesn't work. So I think there is a lot of very beautifully said that persistence and action, I think, is also important for networking. If you are not persistent in building your network, I think that will not add on to your net worth also. So can you also tell us what would have been the most difficult decision if you would have to take in something about networking? What could have been the most difficult and the most challenging decisions?
So I would say, like, even for me, right, everyone thinks because I have a networking platform, it's very easy for me to network. It's not. Actually, I find it difficult. I used to be very nervous. You know, I used to be shy when I used to go for my events. But one thing you said before, this consistency, that helped me overcome everything. Like going regularly every week, repeating my speech in my mind, getting comfortable with the faces, that helped. The hard things are, one, speaking in public. A lot of people face this when it comes to networking, speaking in public. Two, it's, I don't know if it's an Indian thing or a business owner thing, but you know, we always tend to hype other people up, but we don't talk about ourselves. So we'll always say, oh, see my friend, he does great business, you must connect with him. But then you've forgotten what to say about yourself. So we have, that's one thing which is very hard. People don't come with that thing that I will also benefit. That I should also benefit and introduce myself. The third thing in networking is people think attending networking events gives you instant results. So I'll go home with 10 contacts, business, I've got the business. They don't realize that networking is actually consistency, showing up constantly, getting familiar with the people around you. And, you know, it's true, familiarity leads to business. You see a face often, you see somebody, you're like, okay, this person comes constantly, I trust this network and I know they'll give me good business. So definitely consistency and putting yourself out there. We forget that. Don't always put other people out there. Always hype your friends and family up, but don't forget to you know, pump yourself up also.
So that is really very well said, Shan. I remember that jo dikta hai wo bikta hai. So definitely you have to be seen. You have to be seen in the platforms which is actually for you, where you know that your target audience is here on this platform. It really matters. As you were giving the example of a lady making pickle, of course her target audience is nowhere there on the LinkedIn profile.
Yeah.
LinkedIn profile is good where you have to build in connects with the HR or you're looking out for any job change. But definitely Insta is giving you that visual appearance, and understanding this appearance, the visual appearance. There is a lot of hesitation for people, you know, to make reels and to post, or there is again very hesitation to put yourself on the camera and talk about it. So any takeaways on these, please?
Very true, very true. I get this from a lot of people in my network, a lot of clients. You know, people say, Arey, but my mom, like one of my clients, she's a lovely baker, does amazing cakes, pies, tarts. I never want her. She's saying, I don't want my photo there. Put my cake, put my everything, my photo don't put. But the thing with social media today is people relate to the human personality behind each account. So that doesn't mean that every day your photo should be there. But I would like to see the lady making the pickle. I would like to see the lady making the cake. Tomorrow, a lot of social media accounts are very informative accounts. If you are making a recipe at home, use this tip, it really helps. But I would like to see who's giving me this tip. So, you can even show up once a month, you can show up once in 2 months, but definitely put that human touch behind your account. There are accounts which are very successful without a person behind it, but trust me, people go and find out who's the founder, who's the chef, who is this. So definitely try that human touch. Second thing is, don't get forced into making reels, making content which you cannot do. I always tell everyone this: do as per your comfort. The best thing is outsource as much as you can. Like even with me, I realized over time my team would say, Shaan, make a video. But I was like, my lighting is not right, my hair is not looking good, I'm more real, I can just talk. They're like, no, we don't like this. So I realized I would start outsourcing the video. I'd get a professional person to come. So in one day, you have 8 hours of me. I've shot everything for 6 months, and then there's no tension. But yes, people do shy away, but try to do what works for you and for social media. Because trust me, there are businesses which, we don't even have to say this, who have skyrocketed sales just through being only on Instagram. I'm telling you, in the lockdown, I've seen people selling like 100 a day of what they're making just in their own kitchen by using Instagram.
I think that is what even the product idli and in Chennai, in
Yes.
COVID, they really bombed up. They really definitely bombed up because it was just given one-on-one and personal touch was there. So
Yes.
definitely. So I would like to have some very beautiful and a doable tip from you. If a person like me, I am just not a networker. I'm a big zero in my networking, though there are a lot of people around who knows me. That's a different thing, but I am a very big networker, a big zero. So if I have to start something in networking, what could be an early, maybe 1 or 2 tips which where I can start practicing networking and I can sustain myself in networking? Because sometimes you tell that you don't network for people, but you network to know about people. So there is a lot of difference between knowing and doing and also being. So exactly
Yes.
which form do you come with is something a big question. So if you could highlight something on that.
So great question. A lot of people ask this. It's not something which, a lot of people say, I'm bad at networking, I'm shy, I don't want to go out, I don't see the need, my business doesn't need the need to network. But let me tell you, I equate networking as building relationships. It's not only about creating your professional network. Think about it as making new friends, but in the workspace. So I would say the easy way to start and something which will get you comfortable is actually reach out to your primary network first. So friends, family, relatives, sometimes you'll be shocked to know that your friends and family only don't know what you do. Yes, they may know you're a doctor, but what kind of doctor? Or you're into printing, but what kind of printing? Or you're into events, but what kind of events? So tomorrow when they are in a room, they can actually mention you there, once they know. So try your primary network first. And the second thing is actually to go for physical events. Take that plunge and actually just go do your research. For the first event, take a friend, take a colleague, take your spouse, but go. Because trust me, once you go, you'll love it so much, you'll want to keep going back. And you will get it wrong also. You will go for some networking events and say, oh, the people were too established, or too young, or the businesses were too small, or the professions were all very different to what I am doing. So till you narrow down where you fit in, trust me, go for events. It's nerve wracking, but take somebody, and that's the first step forward.
So I think the first networking, I think when it is our 100th episode, that is on July 17th, when we all are meeting in person, we will be definitely having a networking brunch. We will be having a lot of networking signatures because there is a lot. And people, please be connected to Bloom to know more what is happening on July 17th. And that is very specific. It's only with invite. And here my next question to you, Shaan, is that sometimes there is the hesitation of, talking about yourself. As you said, we would love to market other people, but talking about your own product or about your own self, you feel little less. So how do we break that pattern, the monotony, basically?
Okay, so that's a very good question. When I say talk about yourself, some people to only talk about themselves. Okay, some people come in and say, me, I do this, I sell this, buy my product. My son does this, my daughter does this, my father does this. It's all about you. But the golden rule in networking is to go to an event and actually introduce yourself in a short version, but ask the other person a question. So if I could say, if I meet, Dr. Neeta, of course, if I meet you for the first time and I don't know you're a doctor, I can say, so, hi, lovely to meet you. I'm Shaan. I run an events company, and this is what we do. We help small businesses grow. What about you? Tell me something about yourself. What brings you here? Because if I go on and say I do events, these are my clients, you've switched off. After I've even gone into the fifth line, you're switched off. So, talk about yourself to the extent where the other person asks you the questions. And a golden rule in networking is ask as many questions as you can without getting personal and without going overboard. Ask 2 or 3 questions because they will know you showing interest. Then they will also show interest in what you do. And let me tell you the other thing in asking, introducing yourself in networking is make a very impactful introduction. So your introduction in 2-3 lines should make them know what you do. So whether you need to say, I'm into events, I'm into fashion events, I'm into networking events. We host our events in Bombay, and some of the clients I've worked with are Tata's, Reliance, etc. This is just an example. But if you throw in 1-2 clients' names also, they will be well aware that this is the level of business he or she does. But again, keep it short.
Yeah, I think the kiss is very important. Keep it
Yes.
short and
Yes.
simple. I
Yes.
think that is really very important for networking. And we have very beautiful and amazing patrons who are always been part of Bloom, and they have become a Bloom family. And I see, Brinda, you have raised your hand. Any question is there for Shaan? Do you want to talk about it, or do you want to ask? I could see Brinda's hand raised.
Brenda, please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Brinda, you can unmute yourself.
Yeah, actually, my internet is very poor because I've just changed my router. I didn't want to ask a question, but I just wanted to share. All of you know my age, so I don't have to mention it. But but if I am 71 going on 72, and it's not that difficult really to be on any platform. The moment you are, being consistent, have something to share, have real content, and not, you can be entertaining also, by which people, you don't have to tell them your niche, but they find out your niche. And, people who see that your content is of value, no matter what their position is in the company, they may be executive directors and you may be just some ordinary people, they will regularly look at, because it shows us who is looking at. Another thing which I experimented recently, I said, why not? I had a few days, my house painting was going on, so I couldn't do very much. So I said, why don't I start a website? It took me all of 45 minutes to set up a website on WordPress. I already had a blogging account, but I am not doing any blogging. And in these 10 days, about 80 people have visited. Only 3 have liked because it's very amateurish. And I changed the thing. But the fact is that I got 2 clients for my one-to-one coaching in 10 days. So the program is a 3-month program. So it's not a very small decision. So I personally felt that even though my website was, very so-so, because I did it with my 11-year-old grandson, for 10 days to get, and both of the clients are one is a director of I don't want to mention the name, operations director, and the other one is also at that level, and one was a blind man. And I think for 10 days, it was a good investment of about an hour. it doesn't take very long. It took me longer to populate it with all my content, which I already have. So it's a no-brainer. It's not, you don't have to go to some professional person because Google University is there. I didn't know anything about Instagram. I only got inspired by Abhijit on LinkedIn. And of course, now quite a few people know me on LinkedIn. And Instagram was the same way. Making a website makes a difference because it gives you a certain amount of credibility, and you will be putting that on your page in Facebook, Insta, as well as LinkedIn. So you get a three-way kind of, and it'll be quite a few people from other countries also. There are about 8 countries where my website has been seen: India, China, Ecuador, Singapore, Canada, US, and one more in 10 days. And it's no great website.
That's amazing. So inspirational.
Yes,
I've never created my own website.
I think I would definitely go for the people who are specializing in this, because when I know that I can't do it, help is always okay, and to ask for help is also always okay. So coming back to you, Shaan, could you tell us something about spicy sangria? What is exactly spicy sangria? And when are you inviting us?
Sure, you're all invited. Spicy Sangria is something that me and my mom started together. It's a fashion exhibition where we basically give a large platform to smaller business owners to showcase their products. So be it somebody in food, lifestyle, fashion, accessories, they can come, put up their stalls, and we get them introduced to a much larger audience. So the idea is to have budget designers, and the idea is to have people that are not regularly available everywhere. So it's, ladies who work from home, people that don't have budgets to spend on large marketing campaigns. But it's just a good platform for them to be on.
Yeah, because I thought that this would be also a very good platform when you talk about spicy sangria, so that the people who are interested in showcasing their product, or people who are interested in showcasing their services, can definitely get in touch with you. And when you talk about House of Marinades, what exactly is House of Marinades?
That's actually my dad's passion project and something which I love. I mean, we all love food in my house. We're very, very passionate about what's on the table. So we're very into like kebabs, and my dad is a very passionate chef. So he loves making different things. So we created a menu, and we have a cloud kitchen where we send only kebabs and marinated meats for people traveling or somebody going on a holiday. Or if you're entertaining at home, you can keep this in your freezer and actually just pull it out at the last moment.
Wow, that is really too much. So I think networking, sangria, and House of Marinades, I think this is very, very much linked. And when people tell that we are a wholesome family, I think this is what the wholesome family really means. So we have Harish Mehta sir, we have Abhijit sir, we have Deepak sir, and I would really love to also talk about Alka ma'am. She is also one of an amazing, person in the Bloom family. Definitely. Any questions from you, Harish sir? You can please kindly unmute yourself, and you can ask question to Shaan.
Thank you, Neeta. Shaan, I love the way you are sharing and caring for people, especially in the small and medium business. I mean, the hobbies become business only if they start investing into the hobby with the passion to make it a business. So very happy to learn from what you shared. So I would love to know more. And in case you need to have an event very soon in Mumbai, happy to speak for the event. I speak, coach, teach, mentor, leadership.
Oh, wow. This is lovely. And I love your name, Abundant Harish Mehta.
It took me a while to create this abundance. And that's only the pandemic which has created this in me. So I move people from scarcity to abundance in their minds. So happy to connect with you and happy to be a part of this Bloom family. I love this family, somehow this is my family, and I always make sure that I'm available on a Sunday and be part of this family. And I love the true spirit of all these people. They're all very close to my heart. Payal, Premraj, Abhijit, Deepak, Neeta, Brenda, and all those who are here. Of course, Alka is very close to me too. So it was quite a bit of learning for us, and would love to serve together. Any opportunity, let me know. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Premraj, for being kind to ask me to speak. You always ask me to speak. I don't know why. Thank you. Thank you.
You're among the best in the business.
Yes. And the main thing, the thing being best in the business is all about your abundance. And I always believe whatever energy you have, that is what you will give out. So if you have an energy of abundance, Harish sir, definitely abundance will come back to bloom and in multiples. So that is why we always want your help, your support, your guidance, definitely. Any questions from Abhijit sir or Deepak sir? Can just unmute and can ask, or else we can go to Alka. Abhijit sir or Deepak sir, in case if you can unmute, or do we go to Alka?
Whatever. So Shaan, first and foremost, I really love the way you talk, and you mentioned something about doing 8 hours of photography and video making. I had a patient, one day he came to my clinic. I'm a doctor by profession. I'm also author and speaker. So this boy was about 18 to 19 years of age, and he was carrying a beautiful camera with him. So I asked him, what do you do? So he said, "Main photo khichta hu." And he was also a flute player, and he was an artist by all means, you know. So I told him, can you click some photos for me today? So he says, definitely. But you have to do up your face and you have to comb your hair. And I had some patients there. So he said, I said, I can't do right now. I need a time later. You know what he did? He just did some lighting in my room. And he told me that, please put up some makeup quickly, just change your dress. And within a span of, I think, 10 to 15 minutes, he took a lot of photographs, and I changed my dresses quickly and I put it up on the LinkedIn and all. My question to you is, it was not easy. It was not easy at all. And when you're talking about 8 hours of shooting, I mean, I would think it would be very, very tiring. What is your take on that?
So to be honest, I feel you, because my social media team keeps telling me, you know, Shaan, if you have to give networking tips, we need to see your face on our social media. Now, I can't tell you how much I don't like being in front of the camera, you know, like if you do up your hair, wear your makeup, wear a nice shirt. And my mom is in the business since the fashion industry since years. She was a model in her days, you know, so she's very used to this. And she always tells me, Shaan, it takes effort, you know, do it, it'll make a difference. So I learned the trick. I told my social media team, you choose one day in the week, I'll do my hair, I'll wear the makeup, and I'll come to the studio. I want all the content shot on that day. So that for me is much easier than actually breaking it up in the month. So I take that hit, I call the videographer, the photographer, and I do that 8 hours. And then I just pick the content. We change a little bit of the background. I change my shirt, I change my, you know, earrings, whatever. But yeah, that's my trick. That's my trick, that I will have it done, and then they can use the content for 2 months. And for 2 months, they don't bother me. But I know a lot of founders, you know, because social media is all about being very real. A lot of people do it even sitting in their bed. People do it without makeup. You know, it's what works for you. Yeah. So I've got a lot of small businesses, you know, corporates. I've got a lot of, you know, even mid-size agencies. I don't want them thinking I'm being a lazy founder. So I try to do it a little more with dressed up in the corporate look rather than, but for a lot of social media brands, the very raw, real content also works. So I think it's what works for you as a founder.
Also, we have to prepare the content. If somebody you're going to pay for 8 hours, our content for the video has to be ready. Yes. We have to keep the script ready. When we're going to shoot, we can't keep wasting time into you doing retakes and all. Yes. So I think the main thrust of the matter is prepare yourself properly, write down the content, 2 to 3 minute videos, everything has to be ready. So I've done this in the past, but my outcome was not very good. So my photographer said, "Aapka story बहुत अच्छा है, लेकिन उसमें कुछ message नहीं है." I said, "भाड़ में जाए message, तू डाल दे अभी YouTube में." So now I'm going to do my second group. And that time when I was doing my stories, I was just telling stories for the sake of telling stories. Now he said that why don't you make it into a proper outcome? You're in the business of speaking now, so please make it a proper outcome. And so now it's a very hard work. Let me tell you one thing,
Yes,
Kishan. It's a lot of hard work.
a lot of hard
Writing down
work.
the content. Thank you so much.
But I have to say one thing. So two things that I feel really work for the world of social media, because that's so important in growing your business. One is very well shot visual content, because the algorithm actually, picks up better shot images and clarity in images and video. That's one. And two, your content. So if you're speaking something which is actually relating to your audience and has that meat in your content, that's a winner. So both these things, it's like I see a lot of content which is so well shot with, I'm like, what is the person saying? But it's working because Instagram is pushing it forward. They've made the effort. But even if you have a mediocre shooting, but good content, good speaking, clarity in speech, that also works. But it's an effort, like you said. Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. We are close to an hour since we started, and it's time to wind up. Shaan, you live up to your name. Shaan se.
Shaan se.
You're a person of substance, creating ripples in the world of networking. It was an absolute pleasure interacting with you. Thank you for your time, and we look forward to having more interactions with Bloom. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Lovely to meet all of you. Thank you so much.
Premraj, every Punjabi lives up to his name. And I can see three here. Alka, me, and Shaan.
Yes.
And Shilpa Vora. Yes.
Yes.
And yes. So we are proud to come here and spread this message. And great. Thank you. Let's have a picture with the hearts. Let's have a picture with the hearts. Yeah.
Yes, definitely. Let's have all the pictures with the hearts. Let us have all the hearts.
Let the hearts show. Brilliant. Thank you. Well done.
Thank you.
Super show, guys. Everyone, super.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Deepak sir. And it's really good to see you. One of our co-founders, though physically he is not here in Mumbai, but definitely I'm sure that his heart is here in Mumbai. Jaise 12, 12:30 Bloom ki ghanti bajti hai, everyone are here with our hearts on. And that is where the beautiful faces and the beautiful Bloom is welcoming everyone, co-creating, collaborating, and allowing everyone to really fulfill their dreams. Looking forward for, again, our next Sunday engagement with an amazing speaker. And thanks to all, thanks to everyone whosoever has joined. And thanks to all the Facebook friends who are watching us live. Oh, yes. And here comes Brigadier Sushil Bhasin. Okay.
He's jumping from one to another.
But still, it's always there that Brigadier Sushil Bhasin is always there with us. Sir, चलते चलते आपसे भी कुछ हम सुनना चाहेंगे.
Oh my God.
Yes, though we have missed you throughout, but I think चलते चलते कोई बात नहीं है. जो भी दो लफ्ज आप कहना चाहेंगे ब्लूम के लिए. And हमारे आज के गेस्ट का नाम है शान खन्ना. तो आपको डिटेल्स बाद में भेज दिया जाएगा, but definitely 2 lines from you, sir.
Nita, one more Punjabi.
हाँ जी.
Acha. So all I can say is that I love Bloom's consistency. I love Bloom's dedication, and very selflessly this team goes on and on. They don't get bothered about the number of people. They serve. They really believe in be faithful to the small, the big will follow. And I think they're also, I must compliment them for, I don't know from where they do, but they find the best of speakers. They add so much of value. And every time I come here, there's a lot to learn. I am sorry today I couldn't come earlier because my session got a little more delayed. So I shifted my session at 11 o'clock only to make sure I finish by 12:30. But sometimes the question answers and the involvement of students carries on. So missed the session. Shaan, I'm very Sorry to have missed it, but I'm certainly going to go through the recording and I'm certainly going to grab the knowledge that I've missed. I will not leave it. And all the best and thank you very much.
Thank you, Sushil sir. Thank you very much, because these are our encouraging vitamins which allows us to process through the entire week and get geared up for the next Sunday, you know. So we require all these vitamins, all the vitamin F, that is the friendship, all the vitamin L, that is lot of love. And we also require a lot of vitamin, that is vitamin C, that is compassion from each and every one. And thank you very, very much. Thank you.